Hey guys, I'm Rix here, and today I'm coming back at you with the final episode of our Naboo Imperial ISB base mock. I feel like I've gone through quite a few iterations of what we're actually calling this, but I think that what I've settled on is that this is an ISB recruitment center on Naboo, and we have some people from Naboo, as you can see here in their line, who are looking to join the ISB. So why don't we just go over all facets of this mock, since you guys haven't necessarily seen it in all its completion. One thing that I do have to admit is the border was never completed. And this is mainly due to the fact that I ordered probably about 300 1x4 black bricks, and they simply never came. They're actually lost in transit from the bricklaying store that I ordered them from, so I was unable to add that to the mock. So unfortunately, the edge will have to stay unfinished for this mock. The reason that I'm wanted to finish this mock on this episode, I think that this is the 4th episode, is because I really want to reuse these parts and such for another mock that I have in mind for the Downfall RPG. You guys might have seen my other episode, or not other episode, but my other mock where I created my character submission for Downfall, but I am now a full-fledged member of that. So because of that, I really want to use a lot of the pieces that I have tied up on this mock, especially the 1x2 dark bluish gray plates up here for another ISB themed mock with my character for Downfall, who I have actually placed here in this mock. But why don't we go over what's happening here? As you can see in the front of our mock, we have a little line of civilians here from Naboo who are looking to interact with one of our ISB agents, who's just giving them some information about how they might join or how they might help the Empire. As you can see on either side of our ISB agent, we have some stormtroopers with riot shields. These are actually riot shields from, I believe, the First Order battle pack, but I think that they look pretty good for Imperial soldiers, and they don't really have any First Order imagery, so I felt like it was perfectly fine for me, to utilize them in this capacity. Moving on behind them, we have some barricades, and then we have an officer here who is kind of, shouting commands at the line of people, just trying to keep them straight in line. And then of course, all around the mock, we have some stormtroopers who are guarding the various buildings. We have 2 more over here, and then on the top here, next to the repeating, I think that's an E-web blaster. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but we actually have a NCO right here, an NCO stormtrooper. Now in the back, guarding kind of the building that we have our ISB colonel on the top of, is we have another ISB agent. This guy's more in full uniform because he actually has his helmet on. This woman obviously is not in full uniform. You can see her helmet kind of resting on that little stool right behind her there. One thing that I also wanted to do was to incorporate this piping technique. Now I know I told you guys about it in an episode in the past, but essentially I kind of made it like, honestly, I don't know in the end what I was really going for. I think that what I was trying to represent was something like a ground sensor or something of the sort. So I guess that's kind of how this ended up. I don't know whether I'm too pleased about, kind of the end result. I think it looks a little bit clunky over there, especially in here. But, it is what it is. I can't really do much about that. There wasn't anything really changed with the landscaping. I guess that maybe, I slightly altered over here where I added a little bit of height to the front of the mock, but that might have honestly already been shown off in the latest video, so there isn't too much different. Now when we go up to here where the NCO is, I've kind of changed the variety of crates we have up here. I placed some of the taller ones in the back, some of the dice-based ones over here, and then, I have my guy in the front, and I'm using a bunch of other crates over here. That really covers, I think, the majority of what has been going on in this mock. I don't think that there's a whole lot else for me to go over in terms of this finished product. I definitely wish that I was able to finish this border here, because, of course, I think that everybody is a little bit disappointed, including myself, that I wasn't able to get the pieces to finish this. But sometimes you have to take a loss, and I had to take a loss on that bricklink order. Luckily, I'm getting some new pieces, as I said, that'll come in and I'll be able to use for future mocks. But unfortunately for this one, it simply didn't finish or finish with my timeline. You know, the pieces didn't come in time for me to use them. I guess one thing that I actually forgot to mention was I did finish the door back here. I ended up going with a partial stud shooter design where you actually have the stud shooters attached to snot bricks. If I can get it to focus, maybe I'll move these guys out of the way and then we can focus there. But as you can see, I actually didn't measure correctly the height of the doorway, so yeah, it's a little bit jank, for lack of a better term. It doesn't look so great. Honestly, it looks kind of bad if you're looking at the front. You can see there's that little gap at the top. But when you have, you know, the roof blocking most of it, and when you put your minifigures right here, you can see that it kind of distracts from the, I guess, unfinished nature. I'm definitely going to use this technique of the stud shooters for doors in the future. I think that it's actually a pretty cool one to use, and I think that it looks pretty cool. But unfortunately, you know, this MOC wasn't able to have the entire look with those stud shooters because, again, as I said, I mismeasured and I wanted to get this MOC out for you guys. Other than that, I really don't think that there's any other changes to add. I'm definitely going to be continue building a lot of Imperial stuff, really based around after the Empire's fall. Now, that's mainly due to the fact that all of the Downfall stuff is actually based right after kind of the Battle of Endor and kind of follows what happens with the Imperial remnants and, you know, a lot of the Imperial officers like the ISB members who are in the field after the Emperor is dead. So that's why I'm going to be focusing on that time period. But other than that, I don't have much else to add for this specific MOC that you see in front of you. So, as always, guys, if you enjoyed this MOC, if you enjoyed this small little series, I promise, you know, the next one will definitely have a completed border. But until next time, it'll have to stay like this. So, as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, do the normal stuff, and I will catch you in the next MOC series. I guess before I let you go, if you have any suggestions for MOCs that you want to see, specifically related to the Empire and the Imperial remnants, go ahead and leave me some suggestions below. I'll definitely be reading through some of those and maybe take some of them into consideration. But without anything else, I'll see you next time, guys.